So, the next thing I'm going to talk about is my love for Tim Burton. I've been a Tim Burton fan since I was young. I can't remember how young. I think the first Tim Burton film I watched was Batman.
But was it when it came out? Because you would have only been
No, it
5.
It wasn't when it came out, because I remember watching it at my grandparents' house on their TV. So it would have been years after that.
That was your introduction to Batman?
Yeah, and Tim Burton. Yeah. Then I went on to watch Beetlejuice.
Which any of our previous video viewers will know is your favourite.
It is. But I just love his style. It introduced me to my love of stripes. Black and white stripes.
Black and white stripes.
But yeah, I just love the whole, the creepy gothic thing he has going in his films. But it's also very whimsical at the same time. Like,
it's very stylized.
It is.
Like, you can look at something and instantly go, "That's Tim Burton."
Yeah. Like, if you look at Edward Scissorhands, it's just very magical, dark, but it's very magical.
What I love about that is the mix between that very American town and then the very gothic castle up the top of the hill.
I can't think that there's actually a Tim Burton film I've seen and I've gone, I'm not like that. The only thing I didn't really take to was the Wednesday series. But that's about it.
We're very much the 90s Addams Family crowd, though, aren't we? Those were our Addams Family.
Yeah. It just didn't captivate me like I thought it would. Tim Burton's art is very creepy, isn't it? Like, I've got that art book downstairs, and it's just...
Tim Burton is very much in his own world.
Yeah.
And some people, it might make you think that he's mentally unstable.
Yeah.
But to other people, like us, more creative people, you can just see that he's just creative.
Yeah.
But it's his own...
It's bonkers.
Whimsical style.
Yeah.
Because some of the pictures, you're like, what on earth is that? But then it's like, it's fine. Like, some of the stuff other people come up with, that's fine.
Yeah. It's just, like you say, it's just very much from his own head. I think that regards to the future of Tim Burton, if Beetlejuice is anything to go by, it's going to have a great revival. Because I know he was considering retiring, wasn't he? And just having, stepping away from the filmmaking, but then he...
Although, if this is his last film, it's a really good one to end on.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is. And I know the fans are saying, now we want, them to reunite and make another Batman film, but...
that won't happen.
I don't think that will happen.
No.
No.
Not when you've got 2 things already on the go. You've got the Elseworlds Pattinson Batman. You've got the DCU Batman coming. Yeah. They're not going to do a one-off Tim Burton Batman film. Shame, because it probably would be the only good thing we'd have. But because I know this is going back into our previous thing slightly, but I said it'd be good if you could get Tim Burton to make one more with Keaton, have him as an older Batman ready to retire, and then have Chris O'Donnell come in as Nightwing. Yeah. Because then it would tie it all together. And just like have a nice sort of end to the series, which it never actually got. Yeah.
Interestingly, though, because I know that you said that your favourite Batman was Batman Returns, because it was very Tim Burton-y. It was,
I just thought they gelled so well together.
It's not my favourite.
No.
I love the first one, but the second one I'm just very meh about.
Yeah, a lot of people are, though.
Yeah, I don't know why. I
think it's just a very it's just a very select few of us.
Yeah.
In that club of Batman Returns is just incredible.
Yeah.
It just appeals to a certain type, I think.
Yeah, it looks amazing, like, the sets and the style and stuff. And Danny DeVito's really good as a penguin. He definitely made that character his own.
I love the take on the Penguin in that film.
Yeah.
Making him like the sad character.
Yeah. And then another one, you know, that I love is Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Just because...
Which a lot of people don't realise wasn't Tim Burton's film.
No.
In terms of it. He didn't direct it.
No.
He just created
it.
The world and the characters.
But it's... I think one reason I love it is because it's animated. Stop motion animation is such a beautiful media.
Mm.
You know, and it takes so long to do as well. As opposed to, like, nowadays you get the cheap CGI stuff that's thrown out.
This is what we were saying in our Beetlejuice review.
Yeah.
How good that was because it was using practical effects again.
Yeah. It's the same with The Corpse Bride as well, because that's, you know, all stop motion, and again, that's stunning. Because you can just see the passion that's gone into it, making it. And I think Tim Burton's movies, that's what comes across, is the passion and the care and love that's gone into making them, rather than just churning out something to make money.
Mm.
It's like a passion project, I guess.
Yeah.
That's it.
So my final one, again, is something that you're really into, which is Star Wars.
A long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. So Star Wars, for me, began sort of early to mid-90s. I saw the original cuts on Sky, and I loved them so much I immediately got my mum to buy me the VHSs and then wore them out. And then the special editions came along, and I actually like the changes George made in the special editions. Mm-hmm. I felt like they actually worked.
They did.
Apart from Jabba the Hutt, but that was cleaned up on the 2004 release, and it was looked a lot better. But in terms of those original ones being changed, apart from Obi-Wan's call when he scares off the Tusken Raiders being changed about 3 different times, I think it is now, the only real issue I've got with the changes is the most recent one for Return of the Jedi, which is the Blu-ray one, where Darth Vader, at the end, when the Emperor's, killing Luke, whereas before you just got his inner turmoil by the way he keeps looking at Luke and looking back at the Emperor. You got it. You didn't need anything. Mm-hmm. But now he goes, no! And it ruins it. It ruins the scene.
It does.
And you can tell it's clearly taken from Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
It's like, why? You've ruined that scene. Which is why I've said to you, because like when we joined our collections together, I still had the DVDs, you've got the Blu-rays, and I was like, does that one have the no in Jedi? And you're like, yeah, and I was like, right, I'm keeping the DVD of Return of the Jedi, we're watching that one instead, because it doesn't have the no. See, I even agreed with the change of putting Hayden in as the Force Ghost, because I know Sebastian Shaw was Anakin when he takes the helmet off, but then having him appear as the ghost at the end sort of doesn't make sense, because if he was to appear as he looked then, he should have been burnt. But it's like the Force has reverted Anakin back to when he was a Jedi, so that everything he did as Vader, it's like, yeah, forget that.
Yeah.
This is the true you.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It does, yeah.
That's the true Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually approved of that.
Well, I did as well.
Plus it means we can have Hayden back as a Force Ghost and Ahsoka. Hooray. And yeah, so I was 10 years old when The Phantom Menace came out. So I was the perfect age for that movie. Because I know adults weren't overly keen on it.
No, they weren't.
I loved it. And I'm going to let you jump in and give us your take on it. because, like, where did Star Wars start for you to get you to the point of The Phantom Menace when you were 15?
Yeah, well, Star Wars started for me when I was young. I can't remember exactly how old, but I used to watch him with my granddad when, you know, he was watching him on TV and stuff. He was a fan, so I used to watch him a lot. But it wasn't something that I was, like, super into. Like, it'd just be like I'd watch them in passing. I wouldn't, like, sit down and purposely put them on. But then I think got to a point when Phantom Menace came out and I watched it and I was a bit like, it kind of made me forget how much I loved watching these as a kid. And then I went back, rewatched the trilogy, the original trilogy, is that what they call it? And just fell in love with it all over again. So I would have been 15 years old, yeah. So you were just sort of over the target age, I think. Yeah. Whereas I was bang on the target age. Yeah. Absolutely love The Phantom Menace. I really, really like the prequels. Yeah, I did too.
It's like, I was one of those, because I was that age, where I didn't look at it and compare it to the originals. I was just like, it's its own trilogy that connects to the originals. And then I'd watch all 6 in numerical order, not release order. And I'd be like, it just works as a story.
It does work.
It works as a complete story.
Yeah, it just flows, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I really, really liked all of that. Yeah. And I loved Star Wars in that bubble. And, like, Empire's my favourite. Yeah. I know it is for a lot of people, but it is just, like, peak cinema. It's just amazing. And obviously after that there was this talk of, like, would we ever get sequels? Because the cast is still alive. And, you know, there was various talk from the actors, like whether they'd spoken to George or whatever. Harrison was obviously like, no, because I wanted them to kill Han at the end of Jedi. And I'm trying to talk louder because there's a bike outside. But, you know, Mark was saying I'd probably do it. Carrie was one day saying yes, next day saying no, next day saying yes. She was backwards and forwards. It was always a sort of thing of maybe. But George was like, I don't know, I'd need a good idea. And then obviously we got the Clone Wars, and I really liked the Clone Wars. And I thought, this is good because we're getting more Star Wars, but it's something that fills in that 10-year gap. Not 10-year, 3-year gap. I was starting to think ahead of myself there. That 3-year gap of the Clone Wars, you know, because when you've got episode 2 and episode 3, you don't see the Clone Wars. It's kind of like it's not needed to see that. So then we got the Clone Wars. I was thinking ahead to this point, which was I'd still like to maybe see what happened in the 10 years between Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. Yeah. I'd like a series where we see Obi-Wan training Anakin, stuff like that. That would be pretty cool. And then, you know, that came to an end, and then they did Star Wars Rebels, which was good, but not quite as good in my opinion. And then the big thing happened, which was that George sold Star Wars to Disney. And we didn't really know what to make of it. Yeah. Now, I don't know what your opinion was, because you've already gone over the fact that you like Disney. Yeah.
I mean, I think I was open to the idea, like, because with Disney partnering with George Lucas with the Star Tours ride, you know, it's very clear that they've been fans of Star Wars since, you know, the 90s, or even late 80s.
I think Star Tours was done in California first, wasn't it, in the 80s?
Yeah, in the 80s, and it's very clear from that ride that Disney, you know, are fans and put a lot of effort into it. So they've always had that connection with George Lucas. So I was very open-minded about it and thought, yeah, I think they could do a good job if they got it right. But at the same time, they're just, like, I guess they're just the studio. You've got to think about the writers and the directors and, the people who are going to have all this input.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people directly blame Disney for them not liking the films.
See, my thinking behind it was, I'm glad we're getting more Star Wars, because they initially said we're going to do sequels with the original cast. I was like, okay, happy we're getting that. But my concern was, George is not involved, and it's his world.
Yeah.
No one gets Star Wars like George, because Star Wars is in his head.
Yeah.
So, I'm not sure, but I'll see. And then we got episode 7. Now, for me, The Force Awakens is good. I watched it, I liked it. A lot of people say it's just too similar to A New Hope, but that, to me, was them keeping in line with George, because George always said that Star Wars universe is like poetry. It rhymes, it comes full circle, it happens again. So that didn't bother me. I was like, yeah, I think that's okay. Killing off Han Solo, I expected it, because Harrison wanted to be killed off.
Yeah.
And that was the only reason he came back, so that they could finally kill the character.
Yeah.
The only disappointing thing was we never got a scene with all 3 original characters. Yeah. We needed Luke, Leia and Han on screen together, even if it was one scene.
We never got
and
that.
we never got it, and that was the biggest disappointment. The only thing really I left, other than that, the cinema being disappointed by, was how they treated Rey at the end of the film. I thought she was fine throughout the entire film until, like, she's having the fight with Kylo, and she's struggling, which she would, because she's not a trained Jedi.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, she closes her eyes, focuses for like 10 seconds, and suddenly she's this amazing Jedi and kicks his ass. It's like, that's not how it works. No. It's like, may I refer you to a few scenes previous where Han said, that's not how the Force works.
Yeah.
There's a prime example.
Yeah.
And that was where it started with Rey. Because from then on, she could do anything.
Everything.
She was brilliant. Yeah, she could do anything that she wanted to.
Without training.
Without proper training.
Yeah, she could just do it.
Yeah.
And even Luke Skywalker needed training.
Yeah.
A lot of training.
Everyone needed training. Even Yoda got trained at one point.
Yeah.
He wasn't just this amazing Jedi from the start. So that was like a disappointment. But I was still happy with the film. I was optimistic. And then Rogue One came along. Brilliant film.
Amazing film.
And I was like, okay, I'm all right. I'm all right with this.
Yeah.
Then The Last Jedi. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
That killed it.
Yeah.
Dead. Like, any momentum it was gathering stopped there.
Yeah.
Because that was a travesty of a film that spat all over Star Wars, in my view.
Yeah.
From the moment the film starts and you've got Poe doing his jokes, it sort of sets the tone of the film. And then you cut to where we left it with the previous film, Luke and Rey on the island. She's handing him the lightsaber. Now, as a Star Wars fan, you see that scene in your head the way it properly is. Luke is returned the lightsaber that was his father's, who, he connected with again before he died. Even if he's cut himself off from the Force like he has, he would still have had that emotional connection with his father's lightsaber, the last bit of his father that remained.
Yeah.
He would have treasured it. But he takes it and throws it away. That's where I lost complete faith in that film.
It was like it was a joke.
Yeah. It's like I said this, and then it suddenly became a meme online, where it was like that lightsaber was The Force Awakens, Rey was J.J. Abrams, Luke was Rian Johnson. It was like JJ's going, here, I've set up the new trilogy for you. Take the next step.
Yeah.
And Rian went, nah.
Yeah.
Not doing that. And he then went on to make a complete pile of crap of a film that, treated Luke like nothing.
No. The way Luke was treated was so disrespectful.
Yeah.
It really angered me.
We've got Mark Hamill to thank that it even felt like it was still the same character. Because you could tell that was Luke in there, but the way he was behaving was not Luke at all.
No.
And it's like Mark himself said when he read the script, he was like, I disagree with everything you've done.
Yeah.
But you're the director, so I will do it. And then he said afterwards, I think I was wrong. But he wasn't wrong.
No, he wasn't.
He was not wrong at all. It's just one thing after another with that film. We could be here for hours, but we're not going to do that. But it's like there's no lightsaber duel in that film. It's the only film of the main saga that has no lightsaber duel.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why would you not do that?
Everyone wants to see a lightsaber fight.
Yeah, and then you've got Luke apparently turning up at the end, like, I'm a Jedi again, hooray! But he clearly looks younger, like he did in the flashbacks, when that starts ringing alarm bells. And then he's got the Skywalker saber instead of his own green one, which we've just seen in a previous scene snapped in half.
Yeah.
So you've just told us that lightsaber's been destroyed and suddenly he's got it? Come on. He's clearly not there. So they make up this force power that you can project yourself across the universe as whatever you want to be. Which is like, oh god, here we go.
That's new.
So we get this cop-out of a lightsaber duel, because it's not really a lightsaber duel.
Yeah.
And then Luke goes out like a bit of a bitch. Like, he's used up all his power and just disappears.
Yeah.
Oh, bye then, Luke.
Yeah.
There goes one of the greatest Jedi of all time. Yeah. And the closest thing we had to a lightsaber duel was Kylo and Rey fighting the Praetorian Guards, and that was terrible. Like, if you watch it and you really look at what they're doing in that scene, the choreography is abysmal.
Yeah.
Like, particularly the bit where I think it's Rey's fighting someone, and there's one of the Praetorian Guards in the background, and it's like, you won't be able to see, obviously, because it's audio, but for Lauren's benefit, he's just stood behind Rey going like he's doing some twirly stuff with his weapons when he could clearly just walk up and stab her in the back.
Oh, no.
But because the choreography required Rey to fight the guy who was near the camera, he's just like, I'll just stand here and twirl my things
do some fancy
rather than
things.
actually coming and killing you, which was the point of what I'm doing here. And it's awful. It really is awful. And when you leave a Star Wars movie, you should have that feeling that I always had of leaving a Star Wars movie, which was, that was brilliant, I'm pumped up, I wanted to see more, you know. But I left that one, this was the first time I've ever done it with any movie, but as soon as the credits hit, I stood straight up out of my seat and I walked out of there as quick as I could, because I was so insulted by that film.
Yeah.
I mean, the ending as well. Star Wars films are well known for their, like, really nice ending shots. You know, you've had, like, the ones where you've got the celebration shots, or you've got a lovely sunset, or something like that. This one, they had the perfect ending shot when it's on the Falcon, you've got what's left of the Resistance. And you think, oh, that's the ending shot. And then suddenly they end with this boy, apparently Force using a broom.
Yeah. It's like, what's that
It's like,
about?
what the hell was that? Sums up the movie.
Yeah.
Like, just what the hell was that?
I know. Usually when a film finishes that you've really enjoyed, you just, like, sit in your seat and you watch the credits roll and you enjoy the music and you just reflect on, like, what you've seen, which it didn't get that with Last Jedi.
I just couldn't get out of there quick enough.
Yeah.
And normally when you leave a cinema screen, the group of people leaving, they're all talking amongst themselves about what they've just seen. When the group of people I was in amongst walked out, it was like we'd just been to a funeral.
Yeah.
Everyone was quiet, their
God.
heads were down, they looked like they'd just seen the death of something.
Yeah.
And I felt like that's how everyone felt.
Yeah.
They'd just witnessed the death of Star Wars.
Yeah.
So that was not great.
No.
And then, of course, we had Solo, which was rattling along, and then suddenly they were like, oh, God, we've got to rewrite it, reshoot it, and this, that, and the other. And it didn't get promoted very well. I saw it, and I thought it was decent. I thought it was a nice, entertaining film.
Yeah.
I thought, Alden Ehrenreich did a good job as Han.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing I was worried about. Could I take someone else as Han? Because he's one of my favourite characters. And he did great. I thought it was a fun enough movie. And then, they had Rise of Skywalker, which was destined to fail after The Last Jedi, because they'd just been left with a pile of, dust from where the previous stories had burnt down.
Yeah. Trying to create something from just a pile of nothing.
Yeah. JJ had the most difficult job, because he'd been given nothing. It's like, he set up this thing. Who is Rey? What's her story? Which he originally envisioned she was a Kenobi.
Yeah.
Would have been interesting. Obviously, we knew from the Clone Wars that Obi-Wan and Satine had a thing. So it's very feasible that he would have had, family. And then Rian Johnson was like, nah, she's no one. JJ had to work with that.
Yeah.
Where do you go from there? And he introduced Snoke as the new big bad. Who is Snoke? What's his connection with the dark side and this, that, and the other? And then Ryan was like, nah, we'll just kill him off, leaving them with no big bad for the last movie. So they had one film left. To introduce a brand new big villain in the last movie would have been pointless.
Yeah.
Because you've got nowhere to go forward, you've got nowhere to go back with it. You would have had to rely on books and TV shows to tell their backstory. So the only thing he really had open to him was bringing back Palpatine.
Yeah.
Bring back Darth Sidious. So, in essence, you undo the end of Return of the Jedi, because although the original Palpatine died, his consciousness was transferred. And then it turned out that Snoke was one of these clones that didn't work, and that they finally got one that almost worked, but he needed more power to become fully formed again. But because it was just one film, they didn't have time to elaborate on that either. So that's how you got the thing at the start where, in the opening crawl it says, Palpatine's voice has been heard, and you're like, ah? And then it's like they're in the Resistance encampment, and Poe's like, somehow Palpatine returned.
Yeah.
And that's the explanation.
Yeah.
Because they haven't got time to give you all that.
Yeah.
And then obviously, in order to go along with the reason of bringing him back, they had to get rid of any other stories they had for Rey and make her Palpatine's granddaughter.
Yeah.
Simply to help justify bringing him back. Which is like... And then she has the audacity to call herself a Skywalker.
Oh my god, so angry.
Yeah. I'm Rey. Rey who? Rey Skywalker. No, you're bloody well not. How dare you? I think it would have been really funny, actually. Because, Luke and Leia's ghosts are there.
Yeah.
To do an edit of that, where they're both stood there, and she's like, I'm Rey Skywalker. And then Anakin turns up and he's like, no, you bloody well not. Are you going to let her say that? She's not one of us.
Yeah.
But it was a difficult job they were left with.
Yeah.
For the most part, I think The Rise of Skywalker is not terrible, but it's not great either. Yeah. It's not the best end for the saga. I don't know. It's one of those things. At least there was lightsaber fights in it. They weren't very good ones.
Yeah.
It just left it on a right sour note. and the fact, that the next stage is apparently a Rey movie, which may or may not happen.
Yeah. The last thing I heard was that it had been cancelled, but who knows?
that's the rumour, because they've seen what happened with The Acolyte, which was made by feminists, and they were trying to deliver a message. They didn't really know what Star Wars is. I mean, they said that R2-D2's a lesbian. Is he? Because George Lucas said he's a he. But that's been cancelled because nobody liked it.
Yeah.
And it's like, this Rey movie is being made by a feminist who doesn't really know Star Wars.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a bad idea. Do you think? But then you look at the other side of Disney Star Wars. The shows. Hit and miss with them. Like, The Mandalorian, brilliant. Season 3, maybe not so much, but brilliant show. Really enjoyed that. Ahsoka is one of those that I enjoyed, but I think that's because I like the prequels so much, and it pays a lot of homage to them. The prequels, being like with Hayden coming back and stuff. People are not so keen on it, but I liked it. Same with Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's my favourite character, so I was very happy to find out he was getting a series. And I enjoyed it for the most part. There are bits of it where it's like, no, I'm not sure. Like when he was taking Leia in that big coat, that looked silly. But I really liked that, particularly like the last episode, where Obi-Wan is finally able to let go of what happened. That scene is brilliant.
I really enjoyed that series, the Obi-Wan series.
Yeah.
And little Leia was so cute.
Yeah. Yeah, it was that thing, because that was supposed to be the next movie.
Yeah.
They were doing the Rogue One and Solo, and then it was going to be Obi-Wan. But because Solo didn't do well, they were like, no, we'll make it a series.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I did.
And then you've got things like The Acolyte, which was an absolute pile of steaming dog turds, which was not Star Wars. And, just forget about it. It doesn't exist, as far as we're concerned.
Yeah.
It's never going to be viewed again. So, yeah, let's just bury that one. But in terms of current condition of Star Wars, they can make good Star Wars when they try. But I can't see any good Star Wars coming. They've got Skeleton Crew at the end of this year, which doesn't look very exciting.
No.
It's basically a bunch of kids travelling across the galaxy with an ex-Jedi who doesn't do Jedi things. I don't know. I saw the trailer, I was like,
nah.
Might pass. There's plenty of stuff that they've said that they're going to do, but how many things have they said they were going to do and then they cancelled?
Yeah.
So, who knows?
Yeah, you can't really get your hopes high for Star Wars until it's actually in production. You've seen trailers because, like you say, they could cancel at any time.
Yeah, I don't know. But the thing that I think you were hinting at was when people have blamed Disney for it. And what you've got to understand is that Disney may own the rights to it and, have a say in what gets made and ultimately pay the money for it.
Yeah.
They're not the ones in charge of making it.
Yeah.
That's still Lucasfilm, who is run, but what is run now by Kathleen Kennedy. She's the one I blame.
Yeah.
Because she worked, for George for all those years. She learned from him and Steven Spielberg and all those people. She knew what Star Wars was, and she's turned it into something else. Because she's pushing female agenda onto it. You look at all these interviews with her, and she's saying like, "Oh, we need strong female characters. It needs to be strong female characters." And You telling me Leia wasn't a strong female character?
Oh, she was.
She kept Luke and Han in line. She was the voice of reason in those three.
Yeah.
And she was a badass. People loved Leia. Little girls looked up to her. Padme, she was maybe not as much as Leia, but she was still a strong character.
Yeah.
But no, apparently we've never had strong female characters in Star Wars.
Yeah.
But this was the problem with Rey. Because it was like, oh, Rey has to be better than all the men.
Yeah.
And this is your problem with a lot of modern cinema, because a lot of them are doing that. And it's not about making women better than men. It's about getting them to the same level.
It's equal. It's
yeah.
all about equality.
It all goes on about equality. But if it was equality, you'd have the men and the women both as strong as each other, both as competent as each other. But they're not. They're making men look stupid and women look super. I know there's been a lot in the past where it's always been the men who are the strong ones saving the women because they've got into trouble and this, that and the other.
Yeah.
Which, you know, that was back then. But now, I don't agree with that.
No.
You know, in terms of making stuff now, I don't agree with that. But flipping it round on its head is not the way to do it.
No.
You should have them equal. And that's your problem.
No. It's like an example going back to DC again is the first the best Wonder Woman film. It's like, yeah, she's really powerful, you know, she's a strong female character, but she doesn't undermine anyone when she's doing it.
Yeah.
Like she helps people, but she doesn't like push anyone aside or make anybody feel inadequate.
Well, no, like Steve's not made to look stupid or anything, is
No.
he? But in the second one, that went out the window.
Yeah.
But that's your main problem. I mean, you know, that's why the Acolyte failed so hard. Because it was the same thing all over again. And they need to stop. And I think some of these companies and filmmakers are getting it now.
Yeah.
It's starting to become less and less. And they are starting to twig on that, you know, it's more about making them equals.
Yeah.
Which is the way it needs to be.
Oh, it is.
I mean, you look at my stuff, that's how I do it. It's like, yes, I might have a female character get in trouble and a male character comes and saves them. But equally, I have it the other way around.
Yeah.
A male character gets in trouble, a female character comes and saves them. Because they're equal. And that's how I see people. I don't see it as a man's better than a woman, a woman's better than a man, or, you know, that's a different coloured skin, and, you know, people are people.
Yeah.
Why do they have to label everybody?
I know.
Why can't we just be people?
I know. Just all be equal.
Yeah, and until they take that out of Star Wars, it's never going to be good again.
No.
It's just not.
It's not.
Because this is what's got me worried about the Mandalorian movie. Mandalorian Grogu.
Yeah.
Because we know that Pedro Pascal is pretty much done with it. How much involvement he's going to have with the movie, we don't even know. And season 3 was pretty much building it up to Bo-Katan taking over and her taking Grogu. So if we got a season 4, it'd probably be her that was the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Which is kind of showing the signs of the same problem. Like, they're going to make it female orientated, you know, kind of thing. So I'm hoping that I'm wrong there, but yeah, they need to sort it out. They need someone else in charge. I don't care if it's a man or a woman, as long as they're not being... Well, I mean, let's face it, she's being sexist. There's no other way to put it. So, yeah. I mean, it's not like she owes everything, you know, to men giving her a chance.
Yeah.
Because, yes, she's worked her way up to be in that position. She's done the hard work, but it was men that gave her the chance in a time where women weren't getting those chances. But there you go. So, yeah, Star Wars, like DC, is not in a good place.
It's my final one. is talking about a strong female character who has done well.
Yes. One that is following on from that point.
Yeah.
Because she's a good character, but not at the expense of men.
No. We're talking about Lara Croft. So I've...
not the new one.
No. We're talking about original game Lara Croft.
Lara before the reboot that happened like 10 or so years ago.
No, we're going to forget about the reboot.
Yeah. This is Lara in the good old days.
Yeah. So I've been a Lara fan since I was 12.
Was that when the first one came out?
Yeah. Because I remember my mum and dad got Danny
that's her brother.
My brother. A PlayStation 1 for Christmas. And one of the games, this was when, the PlayStation first came out, and one of the games was Tomb Raider. And I remember watching my dad playing it. I was just like absolutely just enthralled by this game.
Were you like, I want to play?
And then, eventually I ended up getting my own PlayStation. Just spent hours and hours and hours on Tomb Raider and, Tomb Raider 2, Tomb Raider 3, the sequels. I just loved them. And again, like growing up, it's like, you love something when you're younger and you don't really know why. You just like it. But then growing up, you realise the reasons why you like things, and it's like Lara, she's amazing. She's just got loads of money and she just goes adventuring and raids tombs and finds all this treasure and stuff, and it's all fun and games, and
she's quite sassy.
She's very sassy, but she's also extremely independent to the point where she does come across these men who want to take advantage of her, but she's just like, nah.
It's not that she doesn't want a man or need a man. It's just that there are these people who think because she's a woman they can get the better of her, and she's like, no. Yeah. If she ever meets a man that's right for her, she's not going to be like, oh, I'm better than you because I'm a woman.
No. It's just like, when she meets all these guys in the game who are after like the treasure that she's got, she can see past it, So yeah, it was just amazing. And I remember they made the film with Angelina, Tomb Raider, and I just loved it so much.
I really like that film.
It's really good. Like, I thought Angelina was just such a perfect choice for that role.
Second one's good too.
Yeah.
Not quite as good, but still good.
Yeah. She had the sass, the right amount of sass, and it was fun. Like, watching the first film just reminded me of playing the original games. It was fun.
Yeah, she had a good accent too.
Yeah, good accent. And then at that point, I think I was 17 when that film came out. Yeah, 17. And then, the second film came out, and I got to uni, and then I just started collecting loads of Tomb Raider stuff, because at that point I had my own money to spend, because I was working at uni. Had my own
I'm a grown up now.
I'm a grown up. I could spend money, and
I could buy my own sweets.
And then living in a city, there was all these nerd shops, and oh my god, I can buy all this Lara Croft.
Oh, do you remember all these nerd shops?
I know, back when they were great. So I got statues and posters, and I got 2 cardboard cutout, like life-size cardboard cutouts of Angelina from the first and the second film, and they were just in my room at uni, and I just had like posters and statues, and my room was just a shrine to Lara Croft.
What happened to them? Did they get tomb raided?
Yeah.
Someone went off with them?
No. I think when I moved, I just kind of had to get rid of some stuff. Yeah. But then they made the anniversary game, which I quite enjoyed, and then they made the Tomb Raider Legend, so I quite enjoyed that. I thought that was really good. I thought Lara was really cool in that. I really liked her outfit. It was very practical. For what she was doing.
That's almost where it ended for original Lara, though, isn't it?
Yeah. And then they made the reboot games, and
It's not Lara.
no, it's not. It's not Lara at all.
No, it's called Tomb Raider, but didn't you say the first game you were like, I haven't raided one tomb in this entire game?
Yeah, I think the raiding the tomb were optional, like side quests.
Yeah, why would that be a side quest in
Yeah.
a game that's actually called Tomb Raider?
Yeah, but to me it was just, it's like it was a long time ago and I played it, and it's like you're just killing loads of people, like
Yeah.
actually taking people's lives. I get
She
Lara
rarely did that in the other games,
I
though,
know.
did she? There was the odd fight, but it was mainly about working
Yeah.
the puzzles and things.
Yeah. And it just, to me, it felt like I was playing Call of Duty or something, you know. I was just constantly, like, shooting people, and I'm like, this isn't what Tomb Raider's about for me.
Yeah.
It's about solving puddles.
Solving puddles.
Solving
They're
puddles.
wet. That's the answer.
Solving puzzles and, you know, jumping along the obstacle courses in the tombs and all the, like, crazy mummy creatures. And,
Lara not doing what you tell her to do.
yeah, screaming at her and calling her all kinds
Jumping on the spot, and then when you want her to jump, she won't.
all kinds of expletives coming out your mouth.
Say, grab the ledge! Running into walls and her stepping back, and it's like, stop!
Yeah. So to me, old school Lara is incredible.
Yeah, because they redid Lara the same as the game, didn't they? But in a movie.
Yeah, I didn't even touch that.
Nah.
I didn't. I saw the trailer and I'm like, no.
Now they're doing an animated show, aren't they?
Yeah, I might give it a go. I might try a couple of episodes,
Yeah.
but I can't promise I'm gonna like it.
I feel like they've lost their way.
Yeah. I just kind of feel like Lara was an icon back in the 90s,
Yeah.
and she's probably never going to be that way ever again.
It says a lot, doesn't it? Because like the biggest hype we've had over Tomb Raider lately is when they've remastered and re-released the first three.
Yeah, they have, yeah.
Loads of hullabaloo about that.
Yeah.
Mind you, they've done Revelation as well, haven't they? But that's
Mhm.
like a DLC, innit?
Yeah. And I also really liked Angel of Darkness. I don't know if you ever played that
I did
one.
play that one, yeah.
I really, really
Bit
liked
different.
it. Yeah. And they had the character Kurt, was it?
Oh, don't ask me.
As like a kind of, you know, a sidekick kind of thing, and it worked. It was really good because, you know, Lara never really had a sidekick or anything.
Yeah.
But it worked having this guy. And I loved the whole, like, the insane asylum when there was all this creepy stuff going on. But the only thing I didn't like about that game was that Lara was framed for murder, yet you just had the option to kill all these people that were in your way.
Yeah.
And
I'm no murderer.
yeah. And that to me was a bit like, okay. But I'm pretty sure, it's been a long time since I played it, but I'm pretty sure you did get the option to just knock them out or taser them.
Alright.
So I would always taser them because I'm like, what's that saying?
I need to
From
prove I'm not a murderer.
going around killing people, trying to prove that I'm not a murderer. But I really love the style of that. I love like the dark Lara, you know, with all the heavy eye makeup and you know the dark clothing and stuff. I really like that look for her. It was really cool.
See, I think you'd like the Uncharted stuff because that's what I prefer. The
Yeah.
Uncharted series.
Yeah.
It's not just because it's a male main character. I prefer that style
Yeah.
of game because you've still got the tombs and like the puzzles and stuff, but it's mixed more. So you've got like you'll go into tombs and then you'll have like the firefights and things, and like Nate's more of a witty, sarky kind of character. But again, you've got strong female characters in that one, like Chloe and Elena. But I think you'd enjoy that more because, like I say, it's got more of that tomb side of it as well. I'll play them one time and you can watch.
Yeah, I think so because I think I tried the first one and found it really difficult.
Yeah,
There was one
the first
where-
one's not got a very good aiming system and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's more difficult.
There's the one where you start on a boat.
That's the first one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I just couldn't get past that.
you couldn't get past that.
No.
Yeah.
I found it really.
Well, yeah, you can watch me play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's on our list of cosplays to do, isn't it?
It
Lara
is.
and Nate.
Yeah.
Crossover.
Crossover, yeah.
But yeah, again, sadly, that's another one we're going to have to say, current condition, not good.
No.
Which is a shame.
No, it's, I kind of got past the idea that I'd ever get anything Lara again that would be perfect. So I thought after the Angelina movies were done, it was just, I think for me, that's when it kind of properly stopped.
Maybe they need to do like they've been doing with other things. Bring her back.
Yeah.
Like we're getting Michael Keaton coming back as Batman, Tobey Maguire as
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Bring back Angelina as Lara,
Yeah.
give her a third and final film.
Yeah. Give her a good send-off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Tomb Raider. It's just the random stuff, like when she finds the lost world in a cave, and then there's just dinosaurs, because why not?
Yeah.
You just go underground in this cave and there's dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It's T-Rex chasing after you.
Of course.
'Cause why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've got to say.
That's all I've got
That's
to
all
say
I've
on the
got
matter.
to say on the matter.
So, yeah. That's our top 3 franchises.
Mm.
And as you can tell, we're quite passionate about these things.
Mm.
That's why I've had to split this video into 2. Otherwise, we'd be here for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Um,
You're very passionate when it comes to...
yeah, I
things
mean,
you like.
we spent the first half hour on Doctor Who, and that's me not going on about it.
Yeah.
That was me being short and to the point. I'm not joking. But yeah, that's our favourites, and sadly, most of them are not in great places,
They're not.
which is a shame.
And we do have a lot more favourite things, but we'd be here for days talking
Oh
about
yeah,
it.
yeah. Those are just our like top. Like, I mean, we've got Star Trek
Yeah.
is another one.
Yeah.
And obviously like James Bond.
Mm-hmm. You're a
It's
Bond
like
lover.
Star Trek's very up and down
Yeah.
with what it's doing at the minute, and James Bond, God knows,
Who knows what's
it might
happening
not
with
ever
that.
come back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's that then. Basically, the next video was going to be the 5th one, but now I've split this. This is the 5th one. So yeah, we were going to do something special for the 5th video, but it's now going to be the 6th. But we're still hopefully going to do something special for it, and it will remain a surprise until it appears.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
It is, yeah. We just don't really have a firm schedule. We're just like...
Yeah,
Just
we're winging it.
Winging it, taking it as it comes.
Yeah,
It's the best way to do it sometimes.
it is. But it's not going to just be us yakking
For a change.
for a change. We are going to be yakking, but it's not going to be just us yakking. There will be things to watch.
To watch while we yak.
Yes. Entertaining things. But that's it for another one of our rambles through the geekyverse, the nerdiverse, whatever you want to call it. So we will sign off. We'll let you go and enjoy whatever you do. Enjoy.
As long as it's all legal.
As long as it's all legal. Yeah. Anything to add?
Cheese.
Yeah, go enjoy cheese. Get some cheese, get some pickle, some crackers,
Yeah.
glass of wine,
Yeah.
sit down, watch some Castle Productions.
Yeah.
Oh, cheers for that. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, watch some of Castle Productions.
My voice changed a lot then.
Yeah, that was good old Derek at the back
Oh,
there.
it was. All right, Des.
Yeah, we keep him like in the corner. He's only allowed to say stuff every now and again. But yeah, he's got a good point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because we've got stuff that's going to be on there very soon.
Yeah.
That does in fact feature both of us,
Yeah.
not just me. So lots of exciting things coming soon. I just don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know anymore.
Not even we know what we're doing tomorrow, so.
We haven't got a clue. No. But anyway, you've probably gone by now. So, anyone who's still there, well done. I know it's difficult. But do your best to take care of yourselves.